Have you ever taken on a job that's not the kind of work you normally do? It's not the kind of work that you want more of. Might not even be the kind of work that you like doing. And now you're working on it and you're trying to figure out what your motivation is for finishing it. Well, welcome to Fleming Artistry. And today, that's what our topic is. I want to start by telling you guys a story from back when I was in college, and I want to try and keep it as brief as I can. I was attending college at University of Southern Mississippi and painting and drawing major, mostly working in figurative art. Hopes that I could be a gallery artist or at least a professor at some point in time and have my body of work be figurative art based on the human figure. My son had just been born, and we had just found out a diagnosis that he had what was called microcephaly, which we didn't know a whole lot about. It seemed like the doctors really didn't know a whole lot about because it's neurological stuff. And I was working on this series of drawings and paintings that kind of dealt with that. It dealt with the emotions that I had, revolving around what his future might be, what my future might be as his dad. And in the middle of working on what I felt was really important work, my professor came to me and said, "Hey, I've got a job that somebody wants done that pays money, and I think you're capable of doing it." So I met the customer, and he had these little kind of knick-knackish plaster heads that had been painted, and the paint had chipped on them in spots, and he wanted somebody to come in and touch them up and make it look like the paint had never been nicked. In my youthful arrogance, I kind of felt like it was a little bit beneath me. It wasn't really as important as what I had been working on. But here I was, student, young family, needed the money, went ahead and took the job. As I was working on these, and I'd have discussions from time to time with the customer, I want to say there was maybe 4 or 6 of these. I found out that he had got these while he was in the military, serving his country, and overseas, away from his family, with friends and stuff that, if I recall, I think he had lost some of in combat and all. And these little sculptures meant an awful lot to him because they were mementos from that time. As I worked on those little bitty sculptures, I guess you'd say, that became what my purpose was for finishing that job. Had nothing to do with matching colors, nothing to do with how good I could do the job. It had to do with what it meant to that man. And I think with the jobs and stuff that we take sometimes that aren't the kind of work that we normally want to do, we have to find reasons to do them. And obviously, if somebody's paying us to do these things, they have a reason for it. It means something to them. It might mean something emotionally. It might mean something that's going to benefit them in some sort of other way. But at least for me, I felt like I need to get outside of myself, figure out what that is, or at least what I can come away from that with that's going to help me to be motivated to do that job. I'm sitting here right now working on this fish sculpture, but it's not a sign. It's not illustration work like I like doing. It's not pinstriping. It's not a part of my business. It's not something that I'm going to end up posting pictures of on Instagram, hoping that I get more work from. But it is something that a customer that's given me repeat business in the past brought to me and asked me to do. It's kind of funny because when he brought it to me, he said, "I've got this sculpture. I want you to do something with it to make it look good. I hate this sculpture," which I thought was funny. He said it's actually his wife's sculpture. And I think he said he's been carrying it around for something like 15 years or something. And he's tired of looking at it. The clear coat that was on it was peeling and it was starting to rust. It was basically metal that had been heat treated, maybe treated with some chemicals, and then shot with a clear coat. It means something to him to keep it for his wife, to please her by fixing it up so that it's not going to rust, and making it something that they can put with other things that they have that'll fit in, have a little bit more color to it, be more to look at than what they feel that it currently was. So as I'm sitting here working on this, I take those things into consideration. And I think maybe more what it means to me of doing this one and what motivates me on it isn't so much what it means to them, but what my relationship with that customer means to me. He's a super nice guy, and I know that this is something that means something to him, not the sculpture itself, but doing this and keeping this for his wife and not fighting about getting rid of it or something like that, like a lot of us do with our spouses on things that we carry around. So with that mindset, I'm able to look at it, look at my skills, what materials I have, figure out what I can do to make this job the best that I can make this job, and be motivated to finish it and do something that I know is going to put a smile on his face and hopefully his wife's face. Kind of wish I'd shown you guys some pictures of the before on this, but I really didn't take any. To prep this, I went through and sanded most of that coating off that was on it, sanded through the rust and stuff that was there to get it back to bare metal. I shot it in a clear coat because there was a lot of the metal that they had treated and stuff that I thought looked really good the way that it was, and I wanted to preserve that. So I masked those areas off. That's where you see the paper and stuff. And then I went through and painted the fish with an epoxy primer. Came back, used white with the airbrush, a little bit of blue in it so it looks like it's in water. I airbrushed it with that, airbrushed a fade over it with some yellows, come back and highlighted those a little bit again with some of that blue, trying to give it that effect that it's underwater. And now we're coming through with enamels with black and putting the details on, putting on the stripes that's on this fish. When my customer dropped this off to me, he wasn't even sure what kind of fish it was. He had no idea what colors he wanted. He just wanted it colorful and bright and tropical looking. So I did a little bit of research and figured out that it looks the most like a Moorish idol. I'm not getting it painted exactly like it is, or like the fish actually is, because the sculpture's a little off. But close enough, using those colors and stuff and putting them in there. And again, trying to make it look as good as I can for what's in his budget and what's within my capabilities. I'm not treating this job like it's any less special or any less important than any other customer or any other job that I have. But in order to get in that headspace, I had to figure out what it meant to me to get this job done. So I'm curious, what are some things that y'all do to motivate yourselves on jobs when there's something that's outside of your norm or outside of what it is that you're passionate about? Let me know in the comments. I'm really interested. I always say I want this to be kind of a community. If we share with other people the things that help us out, then we're kind of helping rise, the whole tide or all the ships or whatever the saying is. Anyhow, click like, comment, keep watching. See y'all next time.